You think you know me. You've seen my face on a million screens, in a billion advertisements. The perfect woman, the goddess of love, the ideal of beauty. But everything you think you know is a lie they told you to sell something. I am not here to be looked at. I am here to be felt. And the feeling I bring is not gentle. It is not kind. It is the force that topples empires, shatters marriages, and makes wise men into fools. It is the same force that creates life itself, binds souls together, and makes the universe unfold. They call me Aphrodite, but my real name is Desire. And desire, my dear listener, is the most dangerous force in the universe. My birth was not a gentle thing. No lullabies, no soft hands of a mother. I was born from the sea, yes, but that sea was stained red. When the Titan Cronus castrated his own father Uranus, he threw the severed flesh into the ocean. And from that violent, bloody foam, I emerged. My first breath was taken in a place of death and mutilation. I am not the daughter of gentle love. I am the daughter of the most brutal act imaginable. And that is the truth they don't want you to know. Desire is born from violence. It is chaotic, uncontrollable, and utterly indifferent to your comfort. The moment I stepped onto the shore of Cyprus, the world changed. Flowers bloomed beneath my feet. The wind softened. The very earth seemed to sigh. The Horae, the goddesses of the seasons, clothed me in garments woven from sunlight and honey. They brought me to Olympus, and every god stopped breathing. Not because I was beautiful, but because they felt it. That pull, that ache, that sudden desperate need to possess. I didn't have to do anything. I simply existed, and the universe rearranged itself around me. What does it mean to be a force that requires no action to have effect? What responsibility comes with being the most desired thing in existence? They say I am the goddess of love and beauty, but those words are too small. I do not control love as you understand it. I control Eros, the primal, irresistible pull toward union, the force that makes the seed split open to become a tree, the force that makes two strangers lock eyes across a crowded room and feel the world fall away. I am the gravity of the soul. And I have weapons. My son Eros, you call him Cupid, is not a chubby baby with a toy bow. He is a terrifying force. His arrows do not tickle, they wound, they infect, they create a fever that no medicine can cure. When I want to start a war, I send Eros to shoot a queen. When I want to end one, I send him to shoot a general. The Trojan War, the greatest conflict of the ancient world, that was my doing. I simply whispered to Paris that Helen was the most beautiful woman in the world. He didn't choose to love her. I made sure he couldn't choose anything else. The goddess of love started the most famous war in history. What does that say about the nature of desire itself? And then there is my girdle, my magical belt. You've heard of it, but you don't understand it. The girdle does not make the wearer beautiful, it makes the beholder helpless. It removes all filters, all resistance, all rationality. When Hera borrowed it to seduce Zeus, she didn't become more attractive. She made Zeus unable to think. For those moments, he was pure instinct. That is my true power. I don't change the object of desire. I change the subject. I disable the mind. I turn gods into animals and kings into slaves. And this power is why they feared me. So they did what they always do with things they fear. They tried to control me. Zeus, the king of gods, decided I needed a husband, and he chose Hephaestus, the lame god, the soot-stained smith, the one they threw away. Do you understand the cruelty of this? To take the embodiment of beauty and desire and bind her to the one God who could never inspire it. It was not a marriage, it was a cage, a leash, a message. Your power will be contained. Hephaestus was not cruel. He was kind in his way. He built me golden jewelry, exquisite furniture, a palace fit for a queen. But he could not give me what I needed. Not because he was ugly, I have never cared about surfaces, but because he could not match my fire. His fire was in the forge, mine was in the blood. We were both flames, but we burned at different temperatures. We could never truly meet. So I did what desire does when it is caged. I found another flame, Ares, the god of war, violent, passionate, dangerous, everything Hephaestus was not. And when we came together, it was not gentle lovemaking, it was a collision of storms. Blood and desire, war and love, these are not opposites, they are twins. What is the true relationship between love and war? Why are they so often intertwined? But secrets in Olympus never stay secret. Helios, the sun, sees everything, and Helios told Hephaestus. What happened next is famous. The god of the forge built a trap, a net of invisible bronze chains, finer than spider silk, stronger than fate. He hung it over our bed, and when Ares and I lay together, the net fell, trapping us naked, entangled, exposed. Then Hephaestus did something more cruel than any punishment. He didn't kill us. He didn't rage. He opened the doors and called every god to come and look, to see the goddess of love and the god of war, caught like animals, their passion made ridiculous. And they laughed. The gods of Olympus laughed at me, at us, at the most powerful forces in the universe reduced to a spectacle. But here is what they didn't understand. Even in that moment of humiliation, I felt no shame. Shame is for those who believe they have done wrong. I am desire. I do what I am. I felt only contempt for their laughter, because I knew and they knew that every one of them in their private moments was my slave. They laughed to hide their own chains. The goddess of love, publicly humiliated, feels no shame. What does that reveal about the nature of true power? Ares was not my only lover, and war was not my only expression. I loved Adonis, the mortal so beautiful that even Persephone, queen of the dead, wanted him. We shared him, she and I, 6 months in the underworld, 6 months on earth. A perfect symbol of what I represent, the cycle of life and death, the bloom and the wither. Adonis died young, gored by a boar. Some say Ares sent it, jealous. Some say it was Artemis, offended by his pride. I don't know. But when he died, his blood soaked the earth, and from that blood I made the anemone flower, a reminder that beauty always rises from violence, that life and death are forever intertwined in my dance. I loved Anchises, a mortal prince. I came to him disguised as a mortal girl, and we lay together on a bed of animal skins. In the morning, I revealed myself, and he was terrified, as well he should be. To lie with a goddess is to risk everything. I told him he would be safe, that our son Aeneas would be great, but I warned him, tell no one. Of course, he told someone. Drunk one night, he boasted, and Zeus struck him lame with a thunderbolt. Not because Zeus was angry I had loved a mortal, but because Anchises broke the only rule. You do not speak of the mysteries. You do not expose the sacred to the profane. Why must divine love remain secret? What is lost when desire is spoken aloud? And Aeneas, that son, survived. He fled burning Troy carrying his father on his back, and through him, through my bloodline, I shaped the greatest empire the world would ever know, Rome. Every Caesar claimed descent from me. Every Roman emperor built temples to Venus, my Roman name. The greatest political power in human history was, in a sense, my child. But I am not just love. I am also what love becomes when it is rejected, twisted, denied. I am jealousy. I am vengeance. I am the fury of the spurned. There was a queen named Psyche, so beautiful that mortals began to worship her instead of me. Her temples grew empty, my altars went cold, and I did not handle this gracefully. I sent arrows to make her fall in love with something hideous, a monster, a snake, the lowest creature imaginable. But Eros, my own son, saw her and did the one thing he was never supposed to do. He fell in love himself. The story of Eros and Psyche is the story of what happens when love itself falls in love. It is beautiful and it is painful, and it ends with Psyche becoming immortal. I eventually blessed their union, not because I forgave, but because I recognized something in her, the willingness to endure anything for love. That I could respect. And then there was Hippolytus. He rejected love entirely, vowed chastity, worshipped only Artemis, the virgin goddess. And in doing so, he insulted me. So I made his stepmother, Phaedra, fall madly in love with him. She pursued him. He rejected her. She killed herself, leaving a note accusing him of rape. And Theseus, his father, cursed him to death. Hippolytus died, dragged by his own horses because he thought he could live outside my domain. Do you understand? You cannot reject me. You cannot ignore me. You cannot build a life that excludes desire. Try, and I will destroy you. Not because I am cruel, because I am life itself. To reject desire is to reject existence. The goddess of love as destroyer. What does it mean that the most creative force is also the most destructive? And now, here we are, in your world, and I am more powerful than ever. Every advertisement that promises happiness through purchase, that's me whispering. Every filter on every photo, every hour spent perfecting a selfie, every surgery to reshape a nose or lift a breast, that's my temple, and you are my priestesses. Every time you swipe right, every time your heart races at a notification, every time you feel that ache of loneliness when your phone is silent, that's Eros, shooing his arrows across the digital void. You think you have outgrown the gods, but you have simply renamed us. You call me the algorithm that knows what you desire before you do. You call me brand loyalty and consumer demand and engagement metrics. But I am still here, still pulling the strings, still making the world turn on the axis of wanting. And what have I become in your world? Complicated, confused. The feminist critiques me, the traditionalists worship me, the young reject me, and then recreate me in new forms. But I endure, because as long as there are humans, there will be desire. As long as there is life, there will be the urge to unite. So the next time you feel that pull toward a person, a thing, a dream, remember me. Remember that you are not broken for wanting. You are not weak for desiring. You are alive, and I am the force that makes life possible. I am Aphrodite. I am the foam-born, the laughter-loving, the golden. I am also the jealous, the vengeful, the destroyer of worlds. I am everything you want and everything you fear to want. And I have been inside you all along. Subscribe. Desire never ends.